previous tutorial we were working on forms. So we had made a form using a form template engine in Django. So I had made a file named forms.py, and then I had made a form. So this is the look of our form. Then in views.py file I defined two methods. One was a request.method is equal to post, and one was the get. So basically I'll give a quick overview of what we were going to do. So like when I refresh this page, so basically on this URL I'm making a get request, and on having the get request, so basically this block of code gets executed, and this block of code gets executed, and this tells that I had imported the form on the top of the file from .forms import star. You can import any form. So when you use star symbol, so I used form is equal to feedback form. So this was the feedback form which I was referring to, and then I was able to render this form on the front end part of my application. Okay, so basically what we are going to do, first thing we are going to do is add bootstrap class to this form. So what you are going to do, wherever your input is defined inside forms.py file, so you need to define a dictionary which has key value pairs. So basically this dictionary is defined by attributes. So attrs is equal to, this is a symbol for dictionary, so it has a key pair. Okay, basically at the left it will have a key, and then on the right it will have a value. So basically these attributes could be anything, which could be name, id, class, which refers to the basic HTML syntax we follow. So what I'll do, I'll define a attribute class, and I'll give it a value of form control. So most of us would be thinking, why only form control as the class? Because this is the default class present in the bootstrap, so this will make a form responsive. And for the another text area, I'll do the same. Okay, I'll basically quickly copy this. Yes, and yeah, now this is fine. So when I move to my page, I would see bootstrap has been added to my form. Yeah, here you can see the bootstrap has been added to a form, but this isn't responsive. So what we are going to do, I'll go to my form.html, and I'll add a div class is equal to call medium 6, and I'll put this form inside a div. Okay, and what I'm going to do, okay, to get the form on the middle of the page, I'll define a style. Style is equal to margin 0 auto. Okay, now this is fine. Okay, yeah, now this form is in the center of the page. Now this is good. To check the responsiveness, I'll press Ctrl Shift I, and yeah, now this looks good. Okay, there is some issue. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Okay, now this is form is responsive. Okay, so this was to the front end part. Now for the back end part, what if I want to submit this form? To submit this form, the method should be post method. Okay, and I'll generate a token for this, which says %crf underscore token. So a token is necessary when you submit the form via post method. Okay, and this is the form which I had rendered, and additionally I need a button also. Button type is equal to submit, class is equal to btn. So this is a short form, button primary. This is the default bootstrap class, and I'll give the submit. Okay, now this is fine, and okay, so here comes the button. So I'll give a little bit of style to this button. Style is equal to margin 0 auto. Yes, okay. Okay, it is not in the center, so I'll add display block. Okay, and what I can do, okay, margin 0 auto and 0 for the bottom. So what I'm going to do, so this is the fold hand notation, which says on the top I'll give 1 rem, and on the left and the right auto, and on the bottom I'll give 0. So this will give, yeah, so it gives a margin top of 1 rep, and on the left and right it was auto, and the bottom it was 0. Okay, left and right auto, top is 1 rep and the bottom is 0. So this is pretty fine now. So I'll make now I'll move to the backend part, and what I told you, when I refresh this page, okay, so I was making a get request on this route. So when I made a get request on this route, or you can say on get request on this URL, so the form had rendered. But what if I make a post request? When I would be making the post request, basically I would be submitting the form. Okay, so when I'm going to submit the form, so what I'm going to do, I'll make form is equal to feedback form request dot post. Okay, sorry, request dot post. So I'll get all the values when the form has been submitted using the post method. Okay, okay, but still I'll make a if condition to check form dot is underscore valid, uh, is underscore valid, to make sure the form is valid, and I'll make title is equal to request dot post, and title, okay, and subject. So I'll make again a same request for the subject is equal to request dot post and subject. Okay, now this is fine, and I would print title here and print subject here. Okay, and I'll return an HTTP response. Okay, but still I'll make a var is equal to str form submitted, and I'll give plus str request dot method. Okay, so this is fine till here. Yeah, now I'll return an HTTP response of var. Okay, if this form is not valid, what I'm going to do, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to render the form again, but okay, and I'll define my dictionary is equal to this dictionary is going to be same as this one. Here you can see form and form. Okay, and this is this and I'll quickly copy this. Okay, else. Okay, now this looks fine. This code I'll quickly give a quick overview. If the request dot method was get, so this this block of code gets executed, in which it says I'll render the form on the front end part. Okay, when I submit this form, so this block of code gets executed, which says request dot method is equal to post. So form is equal to feedback form. I'll get all the values using request dot post. If the form is valid, then I'll get the two values, that is subject and title. Then I'll print the title, print the subject, and I have given a named variable which says form submitted by request dot method, and I will return the HTTP response of var. Else, if the form was not valid, so you need to check that if the form was not valid, so I would render the form on the front end part again. Okay, if the form was not valid, so what I'm going to do, it says I'll test app debug. Okay, but okay, before this I'll restart my server. Okay, yeah, now it's fine. Okay, I'll refresh this page. Okay, now when I refresh this page, I made a get request. So I rendered the form on the front end part. So test, I'll give a title and say app debug, and I'll make now submit this form. Okay, So I have submitted the form. Yeah, now it says form submitted post. So this was the method which I had defined. So when I submitted the form, so this block of code gets executed, and here you can see that I had executed two print statement here. One was the title and one was the subject. So title corresponds to test, and this here you can see test was title and app debug was there in my subject part. So thank you guys, thank you so much. I'll catch up in the next tutorial. So you need to be very careful by writing this code. You need to be very careful about writing which if condition is comes inside which if, then else, then elif part. So you need to have a quick you need to have a good overview on this. So in the next tutorial we are going to work how what happens if the user if the form is not valid or something is wrong, then how we can show errors related to that form on the front end part. Okay, so thank you guys, thank you so much. I'll catch up in the next lecture.